Hi friends, I'm Victoria. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today, I'm gonna go through some Christmas books that have no romance. I did this last year and I got a lot of feedback from people where they were like, thank you, every book I find has romance and I don't want that. And I'm like, same, I hate romance. It's just not for me. I can't handle the cheese. It has to be a very small portion of a book for me to enjoy it. So yeah, and I feel like when you look up Christmas books, you either get romance or like a silly mystery that's not really well written. So if you want to check out my video from last year, I will link that below. But this year I have a lot of new ones. I have a mix here that includes horror and graphic novels and some whimsical cozy reads, as well as a couple of mysteries and some juvenile stuff as well, just to bring the really cozy, feel good Christmas spirit in. So I'm excited to go through this list. We also have a lot of new releases in this one. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's start off with one I just read, and that is The Dead of Winter by Sarah Clegg. Now, this is a nonfiction, and it goes through the history of Christmas, but like the dark side of Christmas. And it delves into how traditions that we celebrate still today are from past, more dark and sinister types of celebrations in the past. So I really enjoyed it. It's a short read, easily digestible, and I definitely learned some new things about Christmas. So that was fun. Next is a new release that I am thrilled about. I cannot wait to read it. I am 100% reading it this year, and that is The Darkest Night. It's compiled by Lindy Ryan, but it is an anthology, and we have tons of amazing horror authors in here. But it says that we have an advent calendar of short holiday horror stories perfect for the darkest nights of the year. So it's really built for you to read a story each day through December up until Christmas, which I love. I think that's such a fun idea. And we have like everyone in here: Josh Mallerman, Eric LaRocca, Darcy Coates, and Nat Cassidy. And when I saw Nat Cassidy, I was like, yeah, I'm def picking this up because he has become my favorite author. So I actually purchased this simply because if there's one for every night, my library only allows 21-day rentals, so that wouldn't work for me. And I purchased it and I can't wait. But the next book I have on my list is called The Harrowing by Alexandra Sokoloff. I apologize, I don't know how to say that. This one's actually set during Thanksgiving break at a college. Not exactly Christmas, but I felt like it fit into that whole idea for just holiday season. And I feel like there's not enough content around Thanksgiving anyway, so I should have this up before Thanksgiving. So maybe you can pick this one up. It's readily available at my library right now. But this one, we're at a college. There's 5 students that have decided to stay, and they are not going home for Thanksgiving break. They all have decided to stay for their own reasons. And something happens, and they're curious if it's a prank or if something is wrong and something is after them. It's quite vague from there, but it sounds like something might be hunting them down. I don't know, but it says it's only Thursday afternoon, and they have 3 long days and dark nights before the rest of the world returns to find out what's become of them. But for now, it's just the darkness keeping company with 5 students nobody wants and nobody will miss. So I think that sounds so good. Spooky, scary, at a college campus. Sign me up. Next, we have a heartfelt, cozy book called The Paper Bag Christmas by Kevin Allen Milne. This one is just a general fiction. We are following these people that are volunteering at a children's hospital over Christmas. And it sounds like the people volunteering as well as the kids at this hospital really come together, really need each other, and they bring each other some beautiful joy and discover some things about themselves. Just sounds very wholesome, maybe a tearjerker. When I was looking through lists, but it's very hard to find Christmas books that don't involve romance and are more just about like the wholesome, sweet parts of Christmas. The reviews are good, and I actually checked it out from the library yesterday. So yeah, super excited to read that and maybe cry a little bit. And speaking of Lindy Ryan, she has a novella out that just came out, and it's called Cold Snap, and this one is also around Christmas, so she just must be a Christmas girly. I love that for her. And it says that we have a grieving mother and her son, and they're hoping to survive Christmas in a remote mountain cabin in Pennsylvania. It says that it's a chilling novella that has dread, isolation, and sinister spirits lurking in the frozen woods. Fun. It says it's perfect for fans of The Only Good Indians, The Shining, and The Babadook. Yeah, what? That sounds amazing. I never read that line before. 2 weeks ago, our main character's husband slipped and fell off the roof while hanging Christmas lights, and he passed away, sadly. She's desperate to escape her grief and her guilt, and she packs up her son, and they're like, let's go on a little trip and go to this cabin in the mountain for the holidays. It says they begin to hear strange noises coming from the forest, and when she spots a horned figure watching from between the frozen branches, Christine assumes it's just a forest animal, a moose maybe. But then it says, but moose don't walk upright like the shadowy figure does. They don't call Christine's name with her dead husband's voice. That sentence doesn't quite make sense, but I am totally into it. Sounds great. Novella, short, sweet, fun, Christmassy, spooky. Love it. Babadook. Next is a sweet, wholesome book about found family, and that is Winter Solstice by Rosamund Pilcher. This one sounds really popular and people love this book, but we are following 5 characters and they have all recently been through some big life changes, and it's about them coming together. They're lonely, they're struggling, and they end up finding love, and not relationship love, but friendship love. The good kind of love that we like, through this found family during the Christmas holiday. Sounds really sweet, wholesome, might tug at your heartstrings a little bit. And I feel like we should get good atmosphere in here because we are in the English countryside. So, you know, I love that. This one sounds right up my alley, and especially if you like weird girl lit fic that's spooky, I think this will be for you. This one is Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. I believe I'm saying her name correctly. And we're following this woman that is working at a boys' prison outside of Boston. It's the early 1960s, and she, is not loving life and is having a hard time. And she ends up getting pulled into a strange crime. It's leading up to Christmas time, and she really has nothing to look forward to. It says that she actually, shoplifts for a little serotonin boost. It says that the Christmas season just offers very little cheer for her. But at her work, this woman named Rebecca is hired as a new counselor, and our main girl Eileen seems to start catching feelings for her and becomes a little obsessive, I believe, and something ends up happening to where she gets wrapped up in a crime because of this lady, and things go down. It says that it does play out against the snowy landscape of coastal New England in the days leading up to Christmas. And I'm so excited about this. It sounds right up my alley, and it says it's creepy, mesmerizing, and sublimely funny in the tradition of Shirley Jackson and early Vladimir Nabokov's. Sounds legit right up my alley, so can't wait for that. Next is a little YA juvenile read, and it is called The Last of Spirits by Chris Priestley. We have this brother and sister, and they have been left starving and hungry and freezing on the streets of Victoria, London. And they ask this man for some money, and he's very rude to them. They end up huddling in a graveyard for warmth, and a grave opens, and here comes an old spirit. And these spirits end up taking Sam and Lizzie, our 2 siblings, on this journey to basically make Scrooge not be such a bad person. It's a Christmas Carol Scrooge retelling, but made spooky, cute, and that sounds so fun to me. It does say that the spirits are terrifying and they move through past, present, and future, and it says that this one's perfectly layered, tense, and supremely satisfying with a twist on one of Dickens' most popular books. So I love that. And it sounds like kind of a really easy, mindless book, but kind of gives the spooky, cute vibes, and I'm always down for that. Next is Four Gathered on Christmas Eve by Eric Powell. This is a graphic novel. I've been trying to get more into graphic novels. And it says that we have 4 tales here that are of the bizarre and terrifying to keep you company on the cold Yule night. A unique approach to the ghost story format where the creators themselves become part of the story in this deluxe edition hardcover. We don't need to know that. So it's not just Eric Powell. There's Eric Powell, Mike Mignola, Becky Clunan, and James Heron. I hope I got all those correctly. So they each have their own little story in here. I love that. In a horror graphic novel that's Christmas, that's what I want. Next is a fantasy, and I think it's queer as well, but we have Robber Girl by S.T. Gibson. We're in Sweden. We're following this girl who has been raised by her father, who is a thief, and he has also taught her how to steal and catch treasure. And our main character ends up meeting this girl, and she is an actual witch, and she brings her back home, and she learns that this witch is trying to find this queen and kill her. And I'm not sure if they end up coming together to defeat this queen or if there's something going on between them. I don't know. It says, as Christmas tide gives way to the thin-veiled days when ghosts are at their most vengeful, the two women will find themselves on a journey to a final confrontation that will either redeem them or destroy them entirely. But this sounds good. I also love this cover. I think it's really, really pretty. Next is a graphic novel by Joe Hill. It's called The Wraith, Welcome to Christmas Land, and this is actually a spin-off from Nosferatu by Joe Hill, which I haven't read. Have any of y'all read it? I think about it and then I'm like, man, that is a long book. And I just don't ever pick it up because it's so long, but I mean, I've heard amazing things about it, and for a Christmas book, fantastic, and I also hear it's like a lot of people's most favorite horror book. So, and I believe I talked about that one in my video last year. So if you're looking for a long horror read, Nosferatu is a good one to look into. But if not, and you're looking for a little bite of it, a little snack of Nosferatu, then you can pick up this one. It's actually a graphic novel, which I love. It says in this one, we're brought into the terrifying funhouse world of Christmas Land and the mad man who rules there. I don't know much else about it. It does say it is a standalone story, so you don't have to read Nosferatu to read this. But yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna pick this up. And if I do love it, then maybe that'll give me the push to actually read the very large book of Nosferatu. Next, we have a lit fic called Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This sounds like a really popular one. It says that it is also now a major motion picture starring Cillian Murphy. Okay, love him. And it's also one of New York Times 100 best books of the 21st century. Oh my gosh, I don't read enough lit fic to even know what this is. But now I'm like, I feel like I have to read this. It's set in 1985 in a small Irish town, and we're in the weeks leading up to Christmas, and our main character, Bill, is a coal merchant, and it's his busiest time of year, and he ends up delivering a coal order to a convent. It says that he discovers something there that forces him to confront both his past and the complicit silences of a town controlled by the church. This sounds heavy and emotional, but also probably quite beautiful. It does say that it's a story of hope and quiet heroism. That's great and perfect for the holidays, and then you can watch the movie afterwards. Next, we have I Found Christmas Lights Slithering Up My Street by Ben Farthing. This one just sounds fun and silly. It is a horror. It says that something festive is growing in the sewer where we have these Christmas lights that have come alive, and they're coming after people and wreaking havoc on them, and I think killing them as well, which sounds so fun. It says the string lights spread like invasive kudzu, turning festive decorations into surreal predatory nightmares. Really short too, so if you're looking for just like something short, silly, lighthearted, just like trying to have a fun little spooky time, I think this is perfect for that. Next is one that I believe also just came out, and that is Let It Glow by Marissa Meyer and Joanne Levy. This sounds so cute and wholesome. It's a juvenile fiction. It's essentially The Parent Trap made Christmas. I love that. We have these two girls that are trying out for a holiday pageant, and they find out they're actually twins, and they are really interested in seeing how the other one celebrates the holidays, and they switch places and do a parent trap and celebrate the holidays with their family that they don't know. And I think that's just so sweet and fun and perfect. And I feel like just something, if I'm having a bad day, that would fix it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had to include this because I was just like, that's too wholesome not to. I did have to include a cozy mystery in this list, and that one is a new release called Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret by Benjamin Stevenson. This one, as far as I can tell, no romance. So that's what I was looking for. It's hard to find in these cozy mysteries too, for some reason. Essentially, Christmas is coming up. We have this magician. He does stage shows. His name is Ryan Blaze, and his benefactor turns up murdered, and our main character is trying to solve it. It says, unwrap all the Christmas staples, presents, family, an impossible murder or two, and a deadly advent calendar of clues. So that sounds so fun. Advent calendar full of clues. Yeah, love that. I haven't read a book with that. That sounds great, inventive, unique. And it says, if Knives Out and the Thursday Murder Club kissed under the mistletoe. So, I mean, even the synopsis, I feel like they're having fun. So I feel like the book will be fun, and that makes me happy and excited. Next, we have Blood Like Mine by Stuart Neville. I am not sure if it's exactly at Christmas, but it says that it is on a snowy December night. So we are following this mom and her daughter. They're kind of on the run, and her daughter is named Moonflower, and they're on the run because she has a grisly secret, which leads me to think werewolf, perchance, perhaps, which I would love. And then apart from that, we also have an FBI agent who is hunting down a killer who drains the blood from their victims. Vampire? Are we getting vampires and werewolves in this? Because I would love an actual spooky Twilight kind of feel for the Christmas holidays. So it kind of seems like that might be what's happening. But it says that it's a deadly and high stakes game of cat and mouse, and nobody is safe and nothing is certain. Not even the line between predator and prey. Sounds good, sounds spooky, sounds atmospheric, and yeah, it's also in Colorado, I think. Yeah, they're in the foothills of Colorado, so me too, kind of. Am I in the foothills? Is Denver in the foothills? Not quite, no. Next, we have a new release called You Better Watch Out by James S. Murray. And this one is a thriller horror. It is a slasher. And we are following these 5 people who have been abducted and they're being picked off one by one. And it sounds kind of like Saw-esque. It says that the killer has his very own fenced-in playground, which I'm wondering if it's gonna be like Christmas Town, Christmassy. It starts like 48 hours before Christmas and sounds fast-paced and a little gruesome, so that's fun. Next, we have a horror called Holly Horror by Michelle Jabé Corpora. I don't know if I said that correctly and I apologize. This one is a little different because there are 2 books in this one. And the first one is based, I believe, fall. And the second one is called Holly Horror: The Longest Night, and that is based around the holiday season. This one is just like a classic kind of ghost story reimagined, and we're following this girl, Evie, and her parents have gotten divorced, and because of this, she's moving to Ravenglass, Massachusetts. It sounds lovely. It turns out she has moved into what the locals call Horror House, and there is a ghost named Holly haunting the home and is messing with our main character Evie. The second one is based around Christmas, and in the sequel it says that there is a new evil ready to devour their town whole. Maybe it's something where you read the first one closing out November and just like autumn season, and then pick up the next one to read through Christmas. I feel like that would be really fun. I wish I would have realized that prior to this video because I definitely could have read that this year. Maybe I'll do that next year because I already have too much on my list. Next is another new release called A Christmas Ghost Story by Kim Newman. This is a horror novella, I believe, and it says that cozy traditions are made twisted and terrifying as a mother and son grapple with their painful past. And this family starts getting these Christmas letters on December 1st and little things inside, and it starts getting worse and more sinister as the days go on, and it's pretty vague. It says it's a nightmarish tale of a haunted Christmas set deep in the British countryside not too long ago. Love that. But yeah, I love the idea of like getting Christmas cards and things getting more and more sinister day by day. I love that. So it sounds like a nice, short, spooky little read. And the last book on my list is My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon. This one is a thriller, had to have a thriller in here. And this one we're following this woman, and she has never been a fan of Christmas, and it's right around the corner. Her husband's super busy and they're decorating their cozy Vermont home, and she gets a call from her estranged mother. And turns out her mother is sick and has cancer and only has a few weeks to live. And she wants to spend her remaining days reconnecting with her daughter and meeting her daughter's family. Turns out our main character has quite a bit of trauma connected with her mother and her childhood, and is reluctant to bring her mother into the fold for the holidays. but she does agree to have her come stay with them. And it says that when she gets there, mysterious and otherworldly things start happening. And our main character is like, is this my mom? It says the holiday festivities turn into a nightmare, and she must confront just how far she is willing to go to protect her family. I don't know, this sounds right up my alley. It also sounds like that, I talked about this before, the new movie with Brandy, what is it called? The Front Room? Has anyone seen that? I haven't seen it. I feel like I need to watch it. I just noticed it the other day that it was streaming and I'm like, I need to watch that movie. It sounds good. That is the last book on my list. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing holidays. And again, if you're looking for some more options, maybe these didn't fit the bill, check out my video from last year. I'll put it below. It's another one with no romance whatsoever. We all have to unite. We have to work together because the powers that be just want to give us romance for Christmas and the holidays, and that is not what I am looking for. If you've read any of these, let me know. If you have any options on your list that you think would be a good fit for me, also give me a holler. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your year and holiday season, no matter what you celebrate or what you're up to. I just hope you have an amazing rest of the year. Be kind to yourself. And yeah, I hope you have a great spooky rest of your day.